Cuckolding, a strange practice where a partner watches their significant other during sex with someone else. This practice is rapidly growing in the UK, with numerous posts and discussions on online forums about it. The United Kingdom is one of the largest markets for adult toys. Research shows that up to 70% of British women own at least one adult toy. In the 18th century, British women practiced something called love under the skirt, where men could touch their intimate areas without removing the skirt. This was a form of intimacy that allowed for some discretion and secrecy in sexual relations. The British were pioneers in producing the first rubber condoms in the 19th century. These were reusable and often cleaned after use. In the UK, there are clubs for foot fetishists where people can fulfill their fantasies by touching, massaging, and kissing others' feet. British youth often organize drinkathons, drinking competitions where the goal is to get as drunk as possible as quickly as possible. But that's not all. British teens frequently attend wild parties, where underage drinking, drug use, and casual, often unprotected, sex take place. There's a trend in the UK for eating haggis, a dish made from sheep's organs, which many people find disgusting. In some British high schools, students organize revenge porn, sharing intimate photos of former partners without their consent, leading to scandals and legal problems. The United Kingdom consists of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. London is the capital, and the UK has a rich history and culture. Here are some fun facts. In the UK, burping after a meal was once considered a sign of appreciation for the cook. Although rare today, this custom highlighted satisfaction with the meal. Brits consume more baked beans and tomato sauce than anyone else in the world. Canned beans are a popular breakfast addition. One of the best-known British delicacies is black pudding, a sausage made from blood, fat, and oats, often served for breakfast. In England, it's illegal to die in the Houses of Parliament. While symbolic, this law highlights how quirky British laws can be. Queen Elizabeth II was the longest reigning monarch in British history. She ruled for over 70 years, from 1952 to 2022. In the 17th century, clubs in London allowed people to gather and sniff snuff. Snuff was a popular stimulant. British law forbids entering the House of Commons in armour. This law dates back to the 14th century and is one of many bizarre regulations. The UK was the first country to introduce a postal system. The world's first postage stamp, the penny black, was introduced in 1840. There's a tradition in the UK of drinking tea at 5 in the afternoon. This custom dates back to the 19th century, initiated by Anna, Duchess of Bedford. Brits love fish and chips, fish with fries. This dish became popular in the 19th century as a cheap meal for workers. There are more chickens in the UK than people. Chickens are raised for meat and eggs, making them very common. The Scots invented the kilt, a traditional Scottish skirt. The kilt is worn primarily during ceremonies and celebrations. The United Kingdom is the birthplace of football, soccer. The first rules of the game were written in 1863. London has more Italian restaurants than Rome. London is one of the most diverse culinary cities in the world. The UK has the highest number of surveillance cameras in the world. These cameras are used to increase security and monitor traffic. In England, there's a law prohibiting the hanging of laundry on lines in front of houses. This rule is rarely enforced but still exists. The royal guards in the UK cannot smile or move, even when teased by tourists. Guards are trained to maintain full composure. In the UK, there are wife-carrying competitions. The goal is to carry your wife through obstacles as quickly as possible. Brits spend an average of 3 years of their lives standing in queues. Queuing is common in supermarkets, at bus stops, and in government offices. The UK has the largest number of redheads in the world. There are especially many redheads in Scotland and Northern Ireland. Queen Elizabeth II owns all the swans in the UK. This tradition dates back to the 12th century and is a symbol of royal patronage. The UK has the oldest functioning metro system in the world. The London Underground opened in 1863. British children are taught to recite poems and songs about tea. This tradition is part of cultural and social education. In the 17th century in England, public executions were a form of entertainment. Crowds would gather to watch the condemned. There are many abandoned villages in the UK that were left after the plague epidemics. These epidemics occurred in the 14th and 17th centuries. The UK has the most museums in the world. In England alone, there are over 2,000 museums with diverse collections. The UK was the first country in the world to introduce television. The first television broadcast took place in 1926. Brits are known for their love of gardening. Many homes have well-maintained gardens with flowers and vegetables. In the UK, there's a law that allows the Queen to take a child for education if she feels the parents aren't properly nurturing the child's development. This law is rarely enforced but still stands. British law prohibits riding a bicycle on the sidewalk. This rule is meant to protect pedestrians from collisions. The UK is one of the largest producers of whiskey in the world. Scotch whiskey is famous and valued globally. In England, there's a tradition of eating roast turkey for Christmas. This tradition dates back to the 16th century and symbolizes holiday abundance. Brits drink the most tea in the world. On average, each Brit drinks about 1,100 cups of tea per year. There's a law in the UK that prohibits living people from being depicted on banknotes. The exception is the Queen, whose likeness appears on all banknotes. London has the most theatres in the world. The West End is famous for its top-notch plays and musicals.